Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our call today with Assurity and introducing their new whole life product that's now available. On today's call, I have Paige Phelps. Paige is the Regional Sales Director for Assurity, and she's on the call today to help walk us through the new whole life product that's available. It's certainly a great product that will definitely fit into your portfolio for you and for your clients. So without further delay, Paige.
Thanks, Brad, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to learn a little bit more about Assurity's whole life product. We're really excited to be able to provide you with this option and being able to have it available in all of the states except for California and New York. So what we're going to do today is kind of talk through what this new product looks like and what your opportunities are with Assurity and with our new participating whole life product. And I'll fill you in as well on some of the other things that we're working on here at Assurity too. So hopefully as we go through this presentation, you are thinking of different opportunities that you have for the new participating whole life product. And you walk away from this discussion today with some new things, new arrows in your quiver to help you grow your business better, faster, and more efficiently. So with that, I'll kind of start at the beginning as to where we began to formulate the new whole life product and what things were important to us to take into consideration when we put this product together. So first and foremost, I think what's really important for a carrier to do when you're thinking about building out a new product, looking at the different options and opportunities, is to really start with the customer first. Who are the agents talking to? Who are you guys on this call working with? Where are consumers at, and how do we meet the demands that they have in today's purchasing environment? And so we know that consumers want a faster and easier way to buy life insurance. That's evident with all of the simplified underwriting, accelerated underwriting limits that you see out there in the market. Everybody's trying to do things quicker, faster, easier for the customer so that they stay engaged and still continue through that buying process. And so we wanted to make sure that that was met as well in a true participating whole life product. The other thing that's been important that we've discovered in our consumer research and data collecting is that consumers want value beyond a death benefit. Gone are the days where they're buying life insurance just for life insurance. And I think that's relatable to a lot of different aspects of purchasing in today's environment. When you buy something, you want to know that it's going to do multiple things for you and not just one specific purpose. So wanting value beyond death benefit was an important consideration that we took into building out this product as well. And I'll explain how we overcame some of that too. And then the last thing that we know of our consumers is they don't want to deal with lab testing and exams. That's, in their minds, an antiquated way of doing things. And so how do we eliminate that in a fully underwritten participating whole life product, and how can we work with that to meet that demand of that consumer? So that's kind of what we took into consideration. We also knew we had to reprice the product, so premiums are lower on this product in general. We updated the pricing with the new cost of insurance tables for 2017, so you'll see that as well if you're doing comparisons between the new and the old product. So we built out our Assurity whole life with accelerated underwriting. Again, the whole idea here is to meet those consumer demands. So some of that key highlights and features to be aware of. We do have a minimum face amount of $10,000 on this product. So you can go from $10,000 all the way up to a couple $1 million. We can take a look at those bigger cases as well and get reinsurance involved if we need to. But we've got those flexible face amounts on all of our underwriting classes. The other thing that was important for us too to help overcome that need for additional value in the product was adding in a no-cost acceleration benefits rider. This was important for us, especially working with the consumers that we do in the middle market space. If someone's buying a life insurance product, they want to buy more than just a life insurance product. So this allows them to accelerate their death benefit for chronic or terminal illness with no additional cost to that individual. So I'll walk through how that kind of works as well. And the other thing that was highly requested of us was limited pay options. I know these have been popular in the past, popular still today. I think limited pay options are going to become more and more relevant as consumers continue to make big purchase decisions. You think about someone buying a car, maybe they're taking out an auto loan for a 5-year period of time. They've got a mortgage for 15 or 30 years. And so we're very used to, as consumers, paying on things for a specific set amount of time. And that's why I think limited pay plans will become more attractive to today's consumer because of that set definite period of time to pay for their life insurance policy and then move on. And then finally, the electronic application and the accelerated underwriting process is something that you'll continue to see from Assurity as we continue to build out more and more of our products. It's important for us to serve the consumers in the way they want to be served. And so electronic applications allow us to do that quickly. Accelerated underwriting allows us to maintain the pricing of a fully underwritten product, but eliminates that need for labs and exams to speed up that process. And so we kind of think it's the blend and the best of two worlds by doing so. So what does the product look like specifically when we're looking at the specifications of the product? We do go down to 15 days on this product. So what I will tell you and mention about that is that we do see a lot of our participating whole life products written for juveniles. On our prior product, it was about 40% of our business was juvenile whole life policies. So keep that in mind if you do have those opportunities. Maybe you're talking to seniors with grandkids or parents with children. Our participating whole life policy, this one that we're discussing today, also works very well in that juvenile market. So you can see we go down to 15 days, and then on the other end of the spectrum, we go all the way up to 85 years on those 10 pay, 20 pay, and pay for life scenarios. The max age on the age 65 pay scenario is 54, so just keep that in mind as well. But 15 days to 85 years gives you a lot of opportunity to talk to a lot of different consumers. The accelerated underwriting, again, just a reminder, this is no labs and exams up to these face amounts. So for an individual ages 0 to 17, up to $300,000 a face amount is obviously not going to require exam or labs. And then we increased these accelerated underwriting limits on our higher issue ages as well. So 18 to 45, you can do up to $200,000 a face with no exams or labs. 46 to 60 up to 150,000, and then 61 to 85, I would make note of this and put a star by it as a niche. 61 to 85, you can do up to 100,000 a face amount on a participating whole life policy without exams and labs. So I think that's a pretty cool niche, especially for someone who's maybe looking for a final needs scenario type without wanting to pay for the expense of a final expense product. So there's another opportunity and option for you there. Underwriting classes are just traditional underwriting classes. We've got the preferred plus, standard, and then obviously your tobacco ratings. We did add in a juvenile class as well for those under 17 issue age amounts. So keep that in mind too. Remember that this is still a fully underwritten product with the accelerated underwriting on it. So anyone purchasing a product in those accelerated underwriting amounts is not buying a higher priced product. They're not buying a non-medically based product. It's still the regular pricing, just with accelerated underwriting built into it. So still the same underwriting classes as well. So the whole purpose of accelerated underwriting for us is to streamline your entire application process with that customer. We want to make things go quicker, faster, more efficient, and it allows us to eliminate a lot of the back and forth on our end as well that you would have to spend time on for pending requirements, etc. So what we do when we use accelerated underwriting is we use real-time lab or real-time data to eliminate those lab testing and exams. So that eliminates that need to get exams ordered for that customer. During that process, I'll walk through kind of how that all works, but that individual, as you're completing that application, is actually eligible for instant decision at the time that you finish that application with them. So I think that's pretty cool. We see it a lot in the term space, a lot in the simplified health product space, but this gives you the ability to have an instant decision at the end of the application for a true participating whole life policy. So I think that's pretty cool. It's going to reduce the overall cycle time as well. We know how much that affects your ability to place business. So if we can cut down on cycle time for you in order to get you an answer back to your client, we know you're more likely to be able to place that business and keep that customer engaged. And then obviously with an electronic application, it's going to eliminate not in good order apps. So eliminate all those pending requirements that may be necessary to verify information, etc. So as far as the accelerated underwriting goes, I do want to walk you through how this process works. When you're on that electronic application, you're going to start that application with the client. Initially, the client is going to give permission for us to gather that third-party data, so there will be a signature at the beginning of the application. Once that signature comes back, it's going to pop open the health questions into that application. It has essentially at that point in time run information on motor vehicle, prescription drugs, and MIB. So as you continue to answer those health questions with that customer, that information from those reports is also being populated, and it is essentially trying to make an underwriting decision by the time you finish that application with that individual. At the end, you're going to get a decision. It's going to say approved, referred to underwriting, or rejected. So if you get an approval at that point in time and want to continue submitting the application to a surety, we're going to need one more electronic signature, and then it's going to send off to a surety. It will go straight into our issue queue and be mailed out within 2 to 3 business days. So it's a very quick process when you get the approval at the end of the application. Now, on the other hand, you could get a rejected, and then you know that you're finished at that point in time. If you get a referred to underwriting, that doesn't mean that we're going to reject that application. Remember, it's a fully underwritten product still. So we're actually going to take a look at it over on our underwriting department if we get that signature and it's sent over to a surety. It'll go to underwriting. They might require just an underwriting review. We might have to go to full medical underwriting at that point in time. Maybe it's a phone interview just to verify information. So know that if you get that referral to underwriting, it's not a bad deal. We're just checking additional things out and hopefully working to make an offer for that customer. So then let's transition a little bit and talk about that accelerated death benefit rider as well. The whole purpose of us building this into the policy was so that we could create that additional value that you can sell to your customer. So again, this is a no-cost rider. It's automatically built into the policy. But if your insured has a chronic or terminal illness, you can see those descriptions up there on the screen. This rider that's built in is going to allow them the ability to accelerate portions of their death benefit for that chronic or terminal illness to be able to take care of those things. So what is chronic illness? Illness or physical condition in which the insured has been certified by a physician as either being unable to perform at least 2 activities of daily living for 90 days or requiring substantial supervision due to severe cognitive impairment for 90 consecutive days. The one note that I will make to you is that this does not require permanency. So just keep that in mind as well. A lot of those other riders out there that you'll see for accelerated death benefits do require that permanency feature. And then terminal illness would be a condition that results in an expected lifespan of 12 months or less as certified by a physician. So if either of those things happen to your client, they have the Assurity participating whole life policy, they can accelerate portions of their death benefit in order to take care of those things in that time of need. And then I also wanted to share with you the different riders that we have on the policy. So at Assurity, we like to give you the option and ability to build out a policy that makes sense for your customer. We don't want to build our policies out so that they don't fit. One size does not fit all. And we don't want to force consumers to pay for things that are not necessary and not relevant to what they need. And so here you'll see a variety of different riders. There's a couple that are bolded on the screen that I would point out to you. The critical illness rider allows a lump sum benefit payment for diagnosis of heart attack, cancer, or stroke. So it covers those 3 major illnesses, conditions that an individual could possibly have. And it's just an additional lump sum benefit outside of the death benefit. So it's completely separate pool of money, but it adds that extra cushion for that individual to get more out of their life insurance policy if necessary. So critical illness rider, I would definitely make mention of that. We have that guaranteed insurability rider on here as well, which is what makes it very favorable in the juvenile market. So by adding that guaranteed insurability rider, that individual is protecting their insurability and can increase their benefit over a period of time with various option dates or life events. And then the other one I want to point out is the level term rider. So we oftentimes see our whole life used in perm term blend scenarios where there's a small amount of permanent whole life insurance policy on the base, and then they add the term rider to cover a specific need for a specific period of time. So this helps kind of lower premium costs a little bit, allows them to have a permanent product in place, protects the insurability by doing so, but also allows them to cover larger needs for a specific period of time by adding that term rider in there. You can see there's a lot of other options on here too. Paid up additions, we do see a lot of max funded scenarios with our participating whole life products. So if you are doing some of those max cash value, max funding, we do have that option as well. So I would point that out to you too. So let's just take a look at an example of a sales scenario so that you can get an idea of pricing and how this works. This takes a look at that perm term blend scenario. We've got Karen, who's 30 years old. She's got her daughter, Zoe, earns about $62,000 a year as a marketing manager. Her concern, obviously, is that she wants Zoe to have a very stable future. And so we take a look at a whole life insurance policy and what that can do to help them out. If we write a $50,000 whole life policy on Karen, remember she's 30 years old, it's about $50 a month. She knows she wants to take care of another $50,000 need. Maybe that's to help Zoe with college. And so we throw a 20-year term rider on there as well for only $3.52 a month. And for less than $53 a month, she's got that protection and that coverage that she needs. That was a concern for her with the Surety's participating whole life policy. Now, keep in mind there is that no-cost accelerated benefits rider in the policy as well. So if she ever had a chronic or terminal illness, she would be able to accelerate that death benefit of that $50,000 to help out with those needs. As far as consumer sales tools go, we do have a variety of different marketing pieces available on SureLink, which is our agent portal. So if you're not yet contracted, you can reach out to Premier, and they will help with contracting and with any marketing resources that you might need ahead of submitting contracting paperwork. We've got the whole life consumer brochure out there, brochures explaining the limited pay options, how the accelerated death benefit works, and then we also have two specific pieces, one for parents and one for grandparents around that juvenile whole life concept. So if you have some of those opportunities, we've got those materials to support that as well. There's a variety of other materials out there, but I just wanted to point out a few of them that we've seen picked up as highly utilized. And then one of the questions that I get often is, how are others using a surety? How are others positioning a surety in the market? And so one thing that I think we've done that's really helpful to all of you out in the field working with the different customers is that we've created a podcast channel. So our podcast channel can be found on Spotify or iTunes. You can download it from either of those stores. And it is called Tips from the Insurance Pros. And you'll see the Surety logo on there as well. It's a red icon. But what we do is we interview various agents and agencies across the country that are using Surety's products in their business plans. And they talk about our whole life, our critical illness, our various products in the portfolio. So there's actually a really great one out there. One of our regional sales managers, David Everly, who's out in California, did a podcast about the whole life and some different sales concepts out there as well. So I would definitely take a listen to that if you are a podcast person, and check out the Tips from the Insurance Pros on Spotify or iTunes, and check out a Surety's podcast channel. It's a pretty good resource of information. Some other updates that I would share with you all is to take a look at a Surety's single premium whole life product too, which would allow you to do some lump sum dump in to the single premium product. I know there's a lot of changes in that market, and so Surety's been in that business for a long time. We recently repriced that product and redid the commission schedule on that as well. So it is participating. It is a growing death benefit and growing cash value on that single premium option. So know that's an option too. And then before the end of the year, we will be rounding out our product changes with our universal life product too. So more to come on that, but keep an eye out for an announcement from Assurity around the universal life product as well. It'll be current assumption, it'll be priced with the new CSO tables and some different features in there as well that I think will make it very competitive in the market. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions that you may have. If you do have questions, go ahead and type them into the chat feature, and we will get those questions answered for you. I don't know, Brad, if we have any in the chat box at this point in time. But like I said, if you do have those questions, go ahead and start entering them into the chat box, and then we will answer those for you and get you on your way. Just a reminder, this new Assurity Participating Whole Life product is approved in all states except for California and New York. So just wanted to mention that one more time, that it is available to quote, illustrate, and apply for through SureLink, through iPipeline, and various channels as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Paige. I appreciate you covering the whole life product today, as well as a few other tidbits of information about Assurity. As everybody knows, Assurity is a great business partner in the insurance industry. They're a great partner of Premier, and as you can see from everything that Paige presented today, they really do things right, all the way from their product design to the process, and also the marketing support that they provide to you as well to present to your clients. We do have a few questions popping in here, so let me grab those real quick, and we'll have Paige answer those for us.
Sure.
The first question is, how are agents able to determine if the client would qualify for the non-med products?
Yep, so the non-medical would also be an interchangeable term with the accelerated underwriting. So you would want to make sure that they fall within our build chart guidelines on our underwriting guide. That would be the first thing. And then definitely follow these face amount and age guidelines here on this slide, based off of how old they are and what they're looking for in terms of face amount, and make sure that it's within those parameters to stick with that accelerated non-medical process.
Okay, perfect. And then another question here is there a guide to refer to while you're in the appointment, while the agent's in the appointment page? It kind of walks them through how it all works.
Yeah, so there's obviously the underwriting guide is something that you could take with you. I always say if you look at the paper application and maybe take a copy of the paper app with you as well, then you're going to be prepared for the questions that need to be asked as far as health questions go, and you'll have an idea of what that looks like. Other than that, if you're in the meeting and you're doing, the electronic application, it's only going to populate the information in that we need to ask. So it would look a little bit different every time you do it with that electronic application, because it's asking information based specifically off those MIB script check and motor vehicle reports that we've gotten already put into the underwriting engine, essentially.
Okay, perfect. And I know we did have a question about the single pay, so that's a different product altogether. But can you cover the different pay options for this product again, because that's very unique with Assurity, that to have so many different pay options. That's, I know, a question that the marketing team at Premier gets all the time.
Yeah, so we have a 10 pay option, a 20 pay option, a pay to age 65, and then the pay for life now. So those are new options that we built in with this product.
So the pay for life, does that actually exceed age 100 if the client happens to live longer than that?
Yep, it runs out. The illustration goes out to age 121.
Okay, perfect. And then a question on the term split option or case design. If that's added, can it exceed the age limit, or can the total face amount exceed the age limit for a non-med scenario?
Good question. So we're looking at the total amount of face on the policy. So it would include both pieces of it for the accelerated process.
Okay. And then Jerry had a question on a sample rate for a client there. Jerry, we'll get that information over to you. So that'll come from the marketing team here at Premier, just to let you know. And then as far as getting appointed with a surety, again, Kathy, Melissa, or Kelly will reach out to you on getting you appointed with a surety to make sure that you have everything you need to get appointed. And then another question in regards to the signature process. How quickly is the signature request received by the clients for the EAP process? Or do they do it right there with the agent?
Yep. So if you're face-to-face with that individual, we're actually just taking the government-issued ID and using that as their signature. So it'll be done right there if you're face-to-face with them. That would be like their driver's license or another form of ID. If you're doing it over the phone, then it requires an email address as a signature. So it would go ahead and put the email address in. It would kick an email off to that individual. They would review that HIPAA authorization, put their email address back in as their signature, and it would come back and notify you that has been completed so that you can open that application up and continue the health questions there.
All right, perfect. And that just happens as quick as their server will allow, I suppose, or their email service. So
yep. The key there would be just to make sure that the client knows that that information is coming and to check their email inbox if you are doing that email signature. If you're doing it face to face, it's fairly quick. It's just based off of, again, your server, like Brad said, and the response time there.
And then you mentioned the accelerated death benefit rider that includes the chronic or terminal illness.
Yes.
How much can you accelerate of the death benefit of the policy?
Yep. So we use the discount method. It's going to be based off of the daily maximum. And we don't, when using the discount method, you don't have a specific number. You don't really know what it's going to be at that point in time. But, it allows them that accessibility without having to pay for it up front, knowing that they may or may not use it. So.
Okay, perfect. And then is the split whole life term available for over age 65?
I do believe we limit our term rider. I can check on what that maximum issue age is on that and get back to you guys on that too. But I believe we limit the term rider to a specific age.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you do that, that would be great. So let me just review and see if we have any other questions. I know Paige had a slide up at the beginning of the presentation that talked about their trip too. Surety does top-notch trips. They have probably some of the best trips in the industry. So make sure you keep that in mind as you consider doing business with them as well. So I don't currently see any additional questions at this time, Paige. So I'd like to just take a moment, thank everybody for taking time out of their day again. And we did record today's webinar. So if you'd like to hear it again, please request it and we'll get it over to you. Thanks, Paige, for your time today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great day.